What is gout? Well, let me explain it to you in simple terms in this video and what to expect going forward in your gout journey. So, gout is a related disease to arthritis. And just think of arthritis being daily and it has its own ups and downs, but gout is more periodic. It could be once or twice in a month, once in every 6 months. But when it happens, it's super painful. Now, just for a short breakdown, purines are found in most foods. When they enter your body, they get broken down by the kidneys into smaller chemical compounds called uric acid. Uric acid is a normal body waste product. Usually your body gets rid of uric acid through urination. Peeing. People with gout have a problem with uric acid. Either our bodies are producing way too much or our kidneys are not doing the job at breaking down the purines properly. When this happens, we have an excess amount of uric acid in our bodies. Think of uric acid as being like tiny shards of glass. That's why you probably will hear uric acid being referred to as crystals. The uric acid accumulates into crystals and usually settles in a joint or a tendon. We call that a gout flare or a gout attack. The most common gout flare or gout attack is normally in the big toe. But don't be surprised if it starts in your knees, ankles, wrists, etc. It can happen anywhere. There is a joint or a tendon, like anywhere. It can happen also, very rarely though, in your back. So let's talk about how painful a gout attack can actually be. See, I'm not gonna lie and say that a gout attack is going to be easy. Your body is not used to this pain and you might find this to be excruciating. It can be as small as a hot heat and with a feeling of like a tiny needles tickling or stabbing at your joint, or it can be unbearable. See, I was diagnosed with gout since I was 13, so 23 years, I have 23 years of experience. At first, the pain was like small needles jabbing straight through the skin to the actual joint. Then it progressed to a million thick needles prodding into my joints and tendons with no relief. But here's the fun part. I also describe my gout attacks as ice cold glacier water being blasted into my veins. A dozen hammers pulsating in the site of the tendons and joints and the blood vessels near the attack. Here's my hot tip for basically a gout attack. When you have your attack, it is very, very, very recommended to move and not be immobile for longer than an hour. Imagine your foot already being in a ton of pain and it's elevated on a table or a bed or a couch with pillows. When you put your foot down, all the blood rushes to your feet, which means more uric acid being pushed down to your foot, which means more pain. Trying to make mini trips to another room or even just around your couch to avoid this. I'll give this actual hot tip credit to my sister. The gout attack sounds severe, right? It's because it is. Depends on the severity of the attack. It could be a dull, annoying pain, or it can be an overcoming and overwhelming and engulfing flood of intense agony. No joke, intense agony. Now that we got through the discussion of how painful the gout attacks can be, let's talk about how someone can develop gout. Now, there's a huge debate on how one truly gets to the point of a gout attack. You see, I was diagnosed at age 13, so my case was ultra rare and does not fit within the confines of natural order. This disease is known as the disease of kings, and it's known for people that are in older age. So 13 years old, I didn't fit that criteria. The usual means of developing gout is by genetics, a family line, bad diet, like eating tons of organ meats, red meats, and drinking a ton of beer and alcohol. It can also be a case of semi-bad diet mixed with a horrible kidney. Your body also might be overproducing uric acid. Whatever the case might be, you can unfortunately have this for the rest of your life. And unfortunately, there's no cure. So you can reduce the gout attacks to nearly none by intense lifestyle changes and being one with your rheumatologist. But one cannot cure gout. Remember, this is one of the oldest diseases known to mankind and it has been around for thousands of years. No exaggeration. Kale and water isn't going to cure it overnight. So now that we got that hard truth out of the way, let's talk about how you can be diagnosed and the symptoms to look out for. The major symptoms of gout is swelling in the joints and tendons. There's also heat around the swelling. If you can't put a thin bed sheet over your foot or hand or wherever the attack might be, chances are you might have gout. Rheumatic fevers are also common during a gout attack, and high blood pressure is also common with gout attacks. If you have kidney stones or have a chronic kidney stone issue, that also might prompt a doctor to test you. 2 side notes. One is that you can have gout in the form of arthritis at the same time. And 2 is that the gout is more common in males than in females. So the most common way to test for gout is by urine and a blood test. The doctor wants to measure your uric acid in milligram per deciliter units. For men, the amount you don't want to go over is 7 mg-dl, which is milligram per deciliter units. And for females, it's 6 mg-dl. So men, it is 7, women is 6. Having over those 2 amounts will classify you as hyperuricemia, which is, in layman terms, too much uric acid in the blood. Another form of testing if you have gout is by a doctor drawing the liquid that is in the joint that is inflamed. That could be a little bit painful, but also I heard that it's relieving. I don't know. I never had that done. If you have cancer, kidney disease, hypothyroidism, I'm going to screw this up, hyperparathyroidism, and sarcoidosis, I'll put that on the screen. Those diseases increases uric acid levels as well. So let's dive into what happens after your diagnosis. Your doctor will most likely prescribe you some medications. There are 2 sets of medications that you will most likely be prescribed, and the differences are big. They have their, reasons. So one is going to be to flush out the uric acid from your body or to stop the production of uric acid in general. The other is going to be for the attacks. For flushing out the uric acid and to help prevent the production of uric acid, you can either get allopurinol or Uloric. Both have their pros and cons, but the cheaper medication is going to be allopurinol. It's like super cheap, even if you don't have insurance. So for the actual gout attacks, there's going to be quite a bit of options. So here we go. Your doctor might try an NSAID, which is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, like indomethacin, naproxen sodium, or Celebrex. NSAIDs are great because they work a little bit faster than a non-NSAID pill, but keep in mind, these pills can ruin the lining of your stomach if you don't eat enough food. So eat your meals and then take your pill. So your doctor might also try colchicine or colchicine. I'll have the spelling on the screen. This also has pros and cons. Pro is that it's not an NSAID, so you can take the pills without food. Cons is the side effects that you could totally look it up. There's a lot of them. And in my experience, it's not as fast acting as an NSAID like indomethacin. So in my personal opinion, I prefer indomethacin, but colchicine, it's a great option. It's going to be more expensive, but you can take it without food. Another way to alleviate a gout attack, and I usually, you'll go to your rheumatologist to discuss a pill form, or if you can't relieve a gout attack in like 2 to 3 weeks, I definitely suggest this one, especially in my Facebook group. But one of the extreme forms of pills to alleviate a gout attack is a steroid. This can either be in a pill or a shot form. And the shot, you usually get it in your butt or you get it like in your upper arm, wherever there's like a thick muscle. So it's usually in your upper butt. Sorry to be graphic, but there you go. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the actual shot itself. So here we go. When you're going through a gout attack, you need more relief and it has lasted more than a week or 2. You can always talk to your rheumatologist to get a I'm going to spell all this out in the video. Corticosteroid shot. It'll feel numb and like warm water flushing into your body, but it should relieve the pain within an hour or two and start to flush out the uric acid within a day. Normally, try to get these shots from your rheumatologist because in my personal opinion, experience in the last 23 years, most urgent cares and ERs might not have the proper dosage of corticosteroid shots at their disposals. So this is the very last thing that we're going to talk about in terms of medication for gout. In the last attempt of fixing your gout, if it has gone uncontrollable and chronic, your doctor might look into a drug called Crysvita. This is most likely an IV form, and it has to be given at a controlled environment under supervision. I would do a video talking about this drug as I was on a national trial, and it changed my life. This drug is not for everyone. You literally have to have Tophi Gout, which is a deformation due to gout in your body in order to qualify for the drug. And the drug is insanely expensive. Each round is anywhere from $25,000 to $50,000. And you need 2 to 3 treatments in a month. And you would either take it for 6 or 12 months, sometimes even longer. It's a game changer, don't get me wrong, but not everyone qualifies. And if you do, consider yourself under the category uncontrollable. If you qualify, that means you got gout real bad. Okay, so we talked a lot about everything, and I'm sure that I left out a lot. So be sure to subscribe to my channel, because I'm sure I'm going to go ahead and post a part 2 and include everything that I didn't include in this video. So put your notifications on, please. So your next game plan is going to be simple. Find yourself a rheumatologist that you trust. Be sure to work with a rheumatologist with your medications. Don't slack on that. Talk with the doctor and have them do tests to make sure your uric acid levels are decreasing month by month. That is very important. You want to monitor that. Diet is going to be another thing that you need to handle as well. I'll have more videos about gout diets and what to avoid, but the main thing is this: less or no alcohol, less to minimal red meat, and more water. Water should be your favorite beverage. Just a little side note, thank you guys for putting up with this video with me looking away from the camera. I was reading a script. I actually wrote it all out. It's 5 pages, and there's so much more, so please subscribe. I'm going to do a part 2, so please, please, please subscribe, do a notification, but I'm going to leave you with this note. So as we conclude this video, I just want to say 3 things real quick. The first thing is that I will never bullshit you guys. I will never lie to you guys, and I will never fluff anything up. Gout attacks are not fun. Gout attacks can either be small, or they could be so large where you're out for a month, 2 months, 3 months. They could be horrible, but they can also be controlled. Remember those tips that I gave you, and I'm going to give you so much more tips in other videos. So please subscribe to watch those really helpful videos. The second tip that I'm going to give is surround yourself with friends and family that will help support you during this time. It's going to be scary. It's not going to be fun. You're probably even going to have some HR problems at work. But surround yourself with really good friends and family that can help you out, and also get a good rheumatologist. And the third thing is that I want to leave you guys with is this is tough and it's scary. And if you don't control your gout, if you are not on top of this, it can lead to other complications that are much dire than a measly gout attack. So 100% take these tips and run with them. Hold them dear and close to your heart, because if you don't, you don't want to be that person that regretted taking care of their health in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and now you're suffering in your 60s and 70s. So thank you guys so much for watching this video so far. You guys have a great rest of your day. Remember, if you took any knowledge away from this video, comment, like, subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day. Bye.